Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited you are here. My name is Catherine, and I will be your facilitator for this session. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to use the Q&A button towards the bottom of your screen to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. They are here, ready and available to answer your questions. And lastly, this session, including all sessions, are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Virginia. We are currently in session C3. Where my mouse is circling at the moment. And this is also the same order of presentations. So without further ado, I'll get out of the way and introduce our first representative from Washington and Jefferson College.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Marlinda Dowdy. I am an Assistant Director of Admission here at Washington and Jefferson College. So that's a little bit about who I am and what I do here at WNJ. I've been with the school for 2 years, and this is my first higher education experience, and I absolutely love WNJ. So when I talk to students, I'm a little biased about where they want to go to school. But as for WNJ, those of you who aren't familiar with the school, haven't heard about us before, we are located in southwestern Pennsylvania, just a short 30 miles, 45-minute drive or so from the city of Pittsburgh. We're a small liberal arts college. Our on-campus student body really hasn't exceeded about 1,200, maybe 1,250 in the past 3 years or so. So very small campus. Everything that you need is right there on the campus as well. There are students that go to other schools in the area and the campus is spread out, but WNJ is very just nestled in Washington, and it's a very nice school to if you're looking for going into athletics and really getting into your academics, we have a really good balance with that. We're a Division III school, so I'm going to add that. A little bit about the history of WNJ. So WNJ was really 2 colleges in the past, and we formed those 2 colleges together. So since 1781, there's been educational at WNJ, and forming the 2 colleges kind of just came together as a union, but we are the presidents. That's what our name is. So academics here at WNJ, like I said, it's liberal arts. We have 32 majors and 34 minors. So if students are looking for any pre-professional programs as well, we have a lot of those. WNJ is very well known for the pre-law and the pre-health, but we also have engineering. We have education, so different teacher certifications as well. As for minors, majors and minors, students really do end up double majoring a lot of the times. We just started something new this year for the class of 2025 that's incoming. They will be graduating with a major minor, some form of 2 areas of study, and they will do a practicum before they graduate. So we make sure that our students have a hands-on experience. They get as much knowledge as possible throughout the 4 years here at WNJ, as well as be involved in as much as possible. I talk to students all of the time, and they just say, oh, well, am I going to be able to fit all of that in my schedule? Absolutely. We make it manageable for you. You work very closely with advisors and professors, and really have that connection on campus with everyone that you meet, starting from the moment you visit campus. So if there is anyone out there that would like to visit, you set up personal visits online, you meet with an admission counselor such as myself, meet with coaches, sit in on classes, have a tour from a student ambassador. So someone who is currently studying at WNJ, and maybe they are studying what you're interested in, or maybe they're in a sport that you are interested in, or a club or activity, whatever it may be. So a little bit about student outcomes at WNJ. Like I said, we're very strong with pre-law and pre-health, and I think that is great because there are a lot of students going into the medical field lately. I myself get a ton of them just in my territory, but in 2019, our graduating class, 97% of those students were employed or continued their education within 6 months. So very successful coming out of college, whether or not you are going straight into a career, straight into graduate school, whatever it is. But along with the pre-health, over 90% of those pre-health students are accepted into graduate school. And we have great programs, great affiliations with schools in Pennsylvania, as well as other states. And the pre-law, 90% of those law school students over the past 20 years have been accepted into graduate school. So, like I said, very successful, and our students are doing a lot. We have over 70 clubs and organizations. So as I said before, lots of activities, just lots to get involved in on our campus. We have performing arts as well. And then just the different programs that are in place for our students are fantastic. So as a freshman, you don't have to create your schedule. You come in, you kind of just, you prepare yourself for the college experience. You have an easy transition and you have a lot of help with everything along the way. So that program's for the freshmen. We also have one for our seniors. So all 4 years we're working with you, but we really focus on that incoming and then the outgoing. So that way you're fully prepared for what college is offering you when you first step foot at WNJ, as well as what's going to happen after you continue your education or get into a career after being at WNJ. And you will meet a lot of people. You will have friends and you will have people that you call family from WNJ. We have a strong alumni network. So if students are looking to do internship or research programs, whatever it may be, that's always a fantastic way to network. As far as scholarships, we do merit-based scholarships since we are Division III, so we can't give the athletics, but our merit-based scholarships range from $24,000 to $34,000 for our students. So if you are accepted, you will receive a scholarship in that range. Any student who has a 3.6 or higher unweighted GPA has an potential for $34,000 scholarship every year up to 4 years. So if there are questions, please feel free to reach out to us here. The website is washjeff.edu. Thank you.
Great, thank you. The next representative is from the University of South Florida.
All right, hi everyone. I'll just get my screen up here. All right, perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa Chirac, and I am your admissions advisor for the University of South Florida. So today I just want to provide you with a little bit of an overview about the university and our application process. So USF is located in the Tampa Bay area of the state of Florida. So if you went over to the center of the state and then over to the West Coast, right off the Gulf of Mexico, that is where you would find us. We have 3 campuses. So we are a rather large university. We have our USF Tampa campus. We have our University of South Florida St. Petersburg campus, and then we have our USF Sarasota Manatee campus. So all 3 are located right around the Bay Area. Not too far from each other. What I love about this system is that it does provide our students with the opportunity to have a lot of access to different programs, different areas of study, but within a campus environment that works for you. Because we are one university, we just simply have 3 different campuses. And we are large. We've got about over 50,000 students total enrollment. And then for our undergraduates, we are a little over 37,000 strong. So we are a big university. That said, our average class size is about 33 students and our student faculty ratio is 21:1. So we do try to keep our classes as small as we can. USF Tampa is our largest of the 3 campuses, followed by USF St. Petersburg and USF Sarasota Manatee is our smallest campus. We are a very diverse university. About 41% of our students come from diverse backgrounds. We have students who hail from all 50 states and over 145 different countries. We also offer over 200 different majors and concentrations for students to choose from. So there's a lot of variety and a lot of options in terms of what you would want to study. What I love about USF also is where we are located. It's one of my most favorite things about USF. We are located in Tampa Bay, which is a very metropolitan, diverse, vibrant area of the state, and it provides students with a lot of opportunities for personal enrichment, but also for professional enrichment as well. So personally, if you're just interested in getting out and about, taking advantage of our warm, sunny weather, whether it's going to some of the country's most beautiful beaches, our bays, our trails, our parks, visiting our major theme parks in the area, or if it's getting out and exploring all of our museums and cultural institutions, our performing arts centers, you never have to be bored. There's always something going on and always something to do. Additionally, students have a lot of really great access to internships. The Tampa Bay area is very, very invested in the University of South Florida. They care about our students. They are a huge part of our community, and they do want students working for them. So you do have that opportunity. Our students are very active on campus as well as throughout the community. We have over 700 different student organizations. We have over 1,000 campus events that we host every year. We are a Division I program. We are underneath the American Athletics conference, and we've got about 16 sports underneath that program. As I mentioned, we have over 200 different majors and concentrations. We have a great honors college called the Judy Genschap Honors College. So if you are interested in that, I'd highly encourage it. They do have an application in addition to the admissions application. We are big on research, so we will highly encourage that. You can start your first week on campus. If you're interested in research, that is something that we have for you and something that we will encourage you to participate in. And then study abroad is also very popular on our campus. So we do encourage our students to do that, and hopefully our programs will be back up and running very, very soon. And as I mentioned, we do have access to a lot of really great internships for students, but not just locally. We have those throughout the country and the globe as well. Our campuses in Tampa and St. Petersburg do provide housing for students. Living on campus is not something that is mandatory. It is something that we very much encourage, but we do allow our students to have that choice. So there's a variety of different styles that you can choose from if that is something that you're interested in, but Tampa and St. Petersburg have housing options. And as a freshman student, you are not limited to a certain style of housing. I do want to switch gears and get into our application process. So we have 3 ways to apply: our online application through our website, the coalition application, or Common App. So we don't have a preference. That's up to you. You can apply whatever application is works best for you. We do have a $30 application fee. And we do accept fee waivers from College Board, ACT, and NACAC. We are not a self-reporting school, so we do require your high school transcript to be sent directly from your school to USF, and we are not test optional. We will need your exam score, so SAT or ACT, those would need to come from College Board or ACT directly to USF. I also have our freshman profile here as well for you to take a look at in terms of competitivity. This is our deadlines here. So we have the biggest ones are December 1st. That's our priority application deadline. And then the second one is January 15th. That is our scholarship consideration deadline. These here are the scholarships that we offer to our students, as well as our cost of attendance. And finally, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Again, my name is Melissa. I'm your advisor, and my contact information is here. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.
We really appreciate all that wonderful information, so thank you. Just a friendly reminder that if anyone has any questions, to feel free to submit those using the Q&A button towards the bottom of your screen. Any questions at all about the college application process, or even for any of our schools represented here, we encourage you to include the school name. Our last representative, but certainly not least, is from DePaul University.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Kate Agarwal, and I work for Undergraduate Mission at DePaul University in Chicago. I'm going to share my screen. I have a few slides that will guide me in talking about DePaul with you. All right, here we go. So DePaul is located in Chicago. We actually have two campuses in the city of Chicago. We have our main campus, which is in Lincoln Park, which is a neighborhood, a residential neighborhood on the city's north side, really close to the lake. And we often utilize all the green space around our campus for classes and for obviously recreational activities and sports. We are Division I, so we have a lot of cool sports available to students, not only because you can watch them, but you can also play them. We also have a lot of facilities where students can engage in intramural sports. So if you do not get recruited to play in our Division I teams, you can also play any sport you'd like. We pretty much have every single sport available as a club sport, and we utilize those green spaces around the university for that. Our second campus is right downtown Chicago, and it's a really short ride away from the campus. So all of our students receive a public transportation card, which is called a U-Pass. And to get from campus to campus, it's between 10 and 15-minute ride. There's also buses and other transportation that's available to students. And anytime you're registered for classes, you get that U-Pass included. So students can take classes on both campuses or just on one. That just depends on your major. And so what's cool about the city of Chicago is DePaul uses the city as classroom. We say that all the time, but we actually mean it. In most of our classes, we use the experience that you can get in the city as a part of each class. So if you're taking an advertising class, for example, you will be visiting businesses that are located in the Loop, which is Chicago's downtown, as a part of your class. If you're taking an art class, you'll be going to the many museums that we have to experience artists that have produced work throughout history. So we do use the city and the cultural opportunities it offers as a part of classroom experiences. We also have an amazing program called the Chicago Quarter, which directly uses the city of Chicago. And that's for every incoming freshman student. You get to take a class from the Chicago Quarter lineup. It's about 150 different courses in different themes, like you can do music, history, art, anything, and all of that is happening within the city of Chicago. And you travel with your class and your classmates to all these different destinations, learning about the topic and also experiencing it firsthand in the city. A little bit more about DePaul. We are the largest Catholic university in the country. We were founded in 1898 by St. Vincent de Paul, who was a Vincentian priest whose focus was to help the poor and needy. And we still keep that mission of helping others as a focal point in everything we do at DePaul. Not only the classes that we offer, but also faculty and staff keep the mission, the Vincentian mission, as a #1 thing in their work. So even though we're the largest though, the campus, the way the campuses are laid out and the way the students are living kind of all around, it kind of feels like a small town. And what's good about DePaul is because of the mission, we are really focused on the mission of teaching and service. So our faculty and staff are there to make sure students succeed, and our focus is on student success. And we also all do Vincentian service days where we all get together and help in our communities. And those are super fun. And you see people from all over joining in and working together. Some basic numbers about DePaul. As I said, we're the largest Catholic university, so we have a ton of students. About 20,000 students every year join us on both campuses. About 14,000 of them are the undergrads, and over 7,000 are graduate students. All of our students come from pretty much all the states. The only state that's not represented these couple last years was Wyoming. And over 130 countries all around the world. We have a very robust international student community, and there's lots of clubs and organizations where you can meet really cool people from all over the world. What's great about DePaul is that most of our classes are taught by actual professors as opposed to graduate students, as many larger colleges do. And then our student to faculty ratio is really small. So the average is 16:1. And in the introductory classes, you will have larger classes, about 30 or even 40 students. But as you get closer to finishing your major, your classes get smaller and smaller. And in graduate school, you can have like 10 or less people in your class, which is great because you get to know your professor really well and you have really good connections with your classmates. We have a lot of study abroad programs. We have a very great program for first year students. You don't have to wait till you're a sophomore or junior or a senior in college to go to study abroad. We have a first year abroad program, which provides you with a course that you take during a quarter, and then you travel to a destination that complements the subject matter you just learned. For example, I was a co-teacher in a philosophy class. It was a Greek philosophy class, and we learned all about Greek philosophy. And then the trip was a spring break trip to Greece, or you didn't have to, you walk around and you see the places that you learned about from books. So all of our study abroad programs are awesome. And as I said, you can join as a freshman. So our academics are divided into 10 different colleges. And then we have over 300 different academic programs and majors. What's really cool about DePaul is you can mix and match your majors. So you can have a major and a minor or a double major, and they can come from different colleges. You can be a business major and also a music minor. That gives students really great flexibility to structure their education based on their actual interests. We're based in the quarter system. So we have 3 quarters as opposed to 2 semesters. And I also wanted to mention, we have a service at DePaul. It's under Undergraduate Mission. It's an essay editing service. So if you are writing college essays, personal statements, and you need help, we have editors that work for our office that are current DePaul students that are majoring in English who can edit essays for free. If you wanted to access that service, the website is listed right there. Questions can be sent to collegeaccess@depaul.edu, and my information is the last email below. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome, thank you. And again, so much great information from all our representatives here. We do have some time left. And so at this point, we're going to go ahead and pivot into our Q&A portion of this session. I invite all our representatives to go ahead and turn on their cameras to get ready to unmute themselves. And we'll go ahead and get started with our first question here, which is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go ahead and get started in the same order in which you all presented it.
Okay, great. So the advice that I would give about the start of the college process, or just in general, is explore all options that come your way. Don't hesitate just because something might be too far away, or something might be too close, or too big, or too small. I personally, I always use myself as an example. I went to one college because it was close to home. I knew I could afford it, and I just didn't want to look. And now that I work for a college and I'm learning all about all these other colleges and universities, I'm kind of like, kicking myself in the butt saying, why didn't I look a little bit more and just really see what was out there and take what was presented to me and not just push it away? So I would say that's my advice. So taking from personal experience.
Hi, everyone. So mine is kind of to piggyback on what was just said, because there are so many great options and you definitely want to expand your reach in terms of looking at different schools. There's so much available, and really great programs, really great schools, to stay as organized as you can. I think that it helps, especially because as exciting as this process is, can get a little overwhelming. Every school has different criteria, and it's not just throughout the application process. It's, financial aid, it's scholarships, all of those additional things to check off before you actually enroll at the school that you choose. So making, those short lists and getting all of the information that you can in terms of when to apply, how to apply, checking out if you can visit each school. So whether it's in person or virtually for the time being, and collecting all of that information and trying to stay organized, I think will help you through the process and maintain some sanity there.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Speaking of being organized, I always tell students that they need to pay attention to deadlines and apply as early as they can. And so we meet with students all the time who tend to wait till last minute. And so it matters at DePaul, for example, once you get admitted, we have early action deadline in November, and then you hear back in December, and then you can apply for institutional scholarships. But if you wait too long, even if you don't miss the deadline first to apply, but then the scholarship money gets less and less, right? So the earlier you apply, the better, both for admission and definitely for scholarships and financial aid.
That's such great advice. And I think everyone shared some really great advice. So we'll definitely keep that in mind. Our next question here is, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school? What's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
I wish I remembered all the questions before, so I was like thinking about the answers. Something I didn't mention about our school that I would want students to remember is, I mean, I guess any small school could say this, but just how comfortable you feel when you're on campus and how great the connections are. So I talk to students from California all the way to Pennsylvania, everywhere in between, because I have, as my territory, I have most of the United States. But when I talk to students, it's just like you receive that welcoming, just that feeling right from the start, whether we communicate over email or virtually like this, face-to-face, whatever it may be, you have that connection. So even if you don't choose W&J, I would like you to remember that, because that's what you need to look for when you're pursuing everything in your life, like not just college, but afterwards. Look for those connections, look for a place that makes you feel warm and at home and makes you feel special. So yeah, that would be my about W&J. I want you to remember, like, regardless of who you talk to, you're always going to feel like you're welcome.
The one thing I would like everyone to remember about the University of South Florida is that as large as we are, there are so many support services. I went to USF myself and was initially a little bit concerned about how large we are in terms of our student body population. But as I mentioned, our average class size is about 33. We do everything that we can to try to keep those classes small, but you feel it when you are at a major sporting event. You know how many students you're going to school with, which is exciting. But I don't want you all to lose sight of the fact that as big as we are, there are so many student support services that we have, whether it's to get you involved. So if you're looking for student organizations to join to make that community smaller, or just, if you're looking for those research opportunities, study abroad, those kinds of things. There's so many departments, undergraduate research. Some of the things that were super helpful to me was when I needed tutoring and in, different areas. So there's so many student support services available to you and they are there. So never feel overwhelmed. And whatever schools that you're interested in, make sure that you're researching those as well.
Okay, so one thing I would like everybody to remember about DePaul is, first of all, Chicago and how we use the city in our education. And second of all, which is related to Chicago, is our diversity. We try really hard to recruit diverse students from all over. not just all over the city, but all over the state and all over the US and international students. So it's a great opportunity to learn from others because there's just so many different people, so many different viewpoints, and then so many different opportunities, both for friendships and social connections, cultural things, and then also internships and careers. Being located in a big city like Chicago, it makes it really easy for students to kind of branch out and find their niche and kind of do things that complement their interests.
Awesome. And our next, our last question here is, what is one myth you would like to debunk on the college admissions process? What is one myth you would like to debunk on the college admissions process?
So simple. I'm not going to have a lot with this one in terms of an answer, but just that you don't have to have the most amazing GPA or SAT score to get into a college. That's it. I didn't know that when I was going to college. I was like, oh, everything has to be perfect. But, you know, I can't speak for other schools in terms of like what they accept, what they don't accept, what they won't accept and everything. But I know with W&J, we have a very holistic way of reading applications. And there have been students in the past that I said, oh my gosh, this is a straight deny, but you get to know the student, you get to know their life, you get to know why something happened in their sophomore or junior year or freshman year. You get to know what kind of student they are now and what kind of student they can be. So just because you might not have the grades that you don't think you can get into a school doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you can't. So it just depends on the school, but yeah, that would be mine.
So mine, I would say is that everything's not so like guarded and secretive. You know, there's different colleges out there that do different things that have different criteria for admissions purposes. I didn't have a lot of idea really about what, you know, when I was going through my college search process so I'm actually very happy all of you are viewing this presentation because I wasn't even really aware of, you know, college fairs or high school visits or connecting with college representatives to ask them my questions. And so I'm really happy y'all are here. But every counselor that I have met, every advisor has been so helpful and like just wanting to assist students through their college selection process and answering your questions. So don't be afraid to ask the advisors at any of the schools that you're looking at. We are truly here to help through that process. So don't be concerned by that.
All those are great pieces of advice. I always talk to students about financial aid because as students choose which college to apply to, the sticker price of that tuition is really a big deterrent to a lot of students. And so I always make sure to tell students, don't worry about the sticker price. If you like a school, if it has the programs, the academic majors, and all the other things that you're looking for in a school, apply. Because there's a lot of scholarships and financial aid out there. Schools offer scholarships based on academics, social services, interests, all kinds of things can qualify for scholarship. And there's a ton of outside scholarships that you can apply for as a high school senior to offset the cost of tuition. So don't be scared of the sticker price. Even if a school is really, really expensive, apply because you never know who they're looking for and how much money they're willing to offer. So just don't be scared of that.
That's a great way to end. There's a lot of myths out there, and we have college representatives who are here to debunk those myths and just offer advice. As been stated, everyone's here as a resource. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. You can reach out directly to any of the schools here or any admission office, and they are, again, here to answer your questions. So again, thank you so much to our representatives for being here. Thank you so much for sharing, and we appreciate your time. And thank you to each of you for joining us. We have now reached the conclusion of this session. As we close, there'll be a very quick 5-question survey that will appear on your browser. If you don't mind filling that out for us, your feedback is greatly appreciated. And lastly, this session is being recorded, including many others. Feel free to check it out on demand or to rewatch it later. Again, this recording will be available at strivescan.com/Virginia. Again, thank you all and have a great afternoon.